Hello again, everyone. This time I want to show off a little mini game I have. This is a lockpicking mini game, as you can see from this little dialogue here. There is a conversation about lockpicking this door to get inside. And so you see how I've loaded into a new map, essentially. I might have to try to rework this visuals here. Probably with different tiles and different background, but the basic idea is see how this tutorial explaining this lockpicking system. The goal is to move each tumbler into the correct position. Listen for the click. If you move the tumbler too far, the entire lock will reset. Once all tumblers are in the correct position, the lock will open. And I have the instructions up here. It just says like a quality of life like reminder of how to play this game because it's so different. And you know, I have this basic concept of just switching the player's sprite. This is just the main character sprite, and he's just switched to this temporary one. And this is just a level. And so what you do is you just come in here and you move this, and it fails, it does that. You move them each in each position. I don't think you heard that click there. And you keep trying it out to try to figure out which is the correct way to do this. This one obviously clicked. This one did not click. So it's basically a pretty simple trial and error thing. And I already know the solution, of course, so there we go. It's going to loop right now because the event doesn't actually lead anywhere. But yeah, this is a pretty simple minigame that I built just by thinking about using the tools that are in RPG Maker, how to create a puzzle. And you know, this is something I kind of stress to a lot of game devs, which is that, you know, this is maybe a little basic. Maybe it looks a little too hacked, but I don't know. I think it's good. You have to think of ways to come up with narrative ideas and visual representation and how to achieve these kind of gameplay things. That's part of game design. You should be able to come up with stuff like this. So that's kind of why I'm a little hard on people, because I don't want to say that this is some sort of amazing mini game or anything. It's pretty simple. It's basically just, you know, you interact with a thing and it increases a variable by a certain amount, and if you click on it the other way, it increases it by another amount. It's just a simple if statement to check if they're holding the shift button, and then there's a check on a parallel process that just checks if all the variables are in the correct spot, and there's various checks that when the variable's in the wrong position, it resets the entire thing. So yeah, it's pretty simple concept. This is kind of what I want to see when I see RPG Maker games. And games in general, this is a good, I guess I'd call it a talent, not a skill, to kind of problem solve how to build something out of the tools you have. Because even if you go and use something like Unity or something, or Unreal, you still have the same issue of how do I build something, right? You can't just rely on what's there and what's shown to you. You have to figure it out. And that's kind of what I want to impress to a lot of devs. Figure it out. You can make something. You can think of something. Don't just be I gotta make a JRPG about collecting elements and fighting slimes. There's different stuff you can do. And, you know, it's always good to have, you know, a simple little mini game, something that's a little more downtime, something to do in between all the combat and dialogue. And yeah, it's pretty simple. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. See you guys next time.